Today we're going to focus on how to answer a question negatively. In other words, we're going to work on how to say no. If someone asks you a yes or no question, you need to know how to say yes and you need to know how to say no. Before we even get to that though, let's start with a little bit of bell work. So here we've got 4 little questions, 2 of them about the date and the class, date and the temperature, the weather, and then 2 about you. Are you in class? Are you in Glendale? So you can pause it if you want to give yourself some time to write, and then we'll go on to sample answers. Okay, here are our answers. The answer to number 1 should be, and say it after me, is aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi le 1er mars. We followed the right format. We used premier instead of un to say the first, right? C'est jeudi le 1er mars. Numéro 2, quel temps fait-il? Obviously, this is not the weather here, but it's the weather we want to practice. Il fait froid et il neige. It's cold and it's snowing. Il fait froid et il neige. Numéro 3, oui, je suis en classe. Now, you're not sitting in the classroom, but you are in class because you're here, right? Oui, je suis en classe. And number 4, we're going to say we're in Glendale. Oui, je suis à Glendale. So je suis, remember we really focused on that. Je suis à Glendale. Excellent. Fantastique. Before we get started learning more about how to use verbs in French, in this case the negative, we want to review our recent vocabulary. We're going to do this really fast, right? Just like that. I'm going to give you the pronoun, and you're going to tell me how to say is or am, right? So tu becomes tu es, you are. How about he is? Great. How about le garçon, the boy is? Le garçon est. Joseph is. Joseph est. She is. Elle est. She is, and now we have a girl. La fille, the girl is. La fille est. How about Jenny? Jenny est. Super. Oui, we are. Nous sommes. Vous, you are, plural, lots of you. Vous êtes. Excellent. They are, a guy and a girl, right? It's going to be ils sont. And elles, a bunch of girls, elles sont. Now, if you had difficulty with this, I really recommend that you go back and practice it over and over again and review it because this is something you definitely need to know. The verb to be is probably the most important verb that there is in any language. Okay, we're going to review the places that we learned. How do I say there? Là. Here. Ici. Over there. Là-bas. In Paris. À Paris. Any city would do. À Glendale, à Phoenix, à New York, à Paris. In class. En classe. In town or downtown. En ville. On vacation. En vacances. In France. En France. At the cafe, at a cafe. Au café. At the restaurant. Au restaurant. At the movies. Au cinéma. At home. À la maison. Fantastique. Few more. Not here, but. Là. Not there, but. Ici. Over there. Là-bas. Where is she? À Paris. Let's go faster. She is in class. En classe. Downtown. En ville. On vacation. En vacances. In France. En France. At the cafe. Au café, at a restaurant. Au restaurant, remember we're going fast. At the movies. Au cinéma, at home. À la maison. Excellent! Fantastique! Excellent. Now, let's talk about how to ask yes or no questions. We need to know how to ask them before we can answer them. And this is just very brief because we probably won't ask that many. You'll probably answer more than you ask. But let's start here. I'd like you to write this down. To ask a yes or no question, all you have to do is put the phrase est-ce que in front of the statement. So press pause and copy that down. Okay, now you've copied that down. Say the word after me. It's est-ce que. Est-ce que. It's just the way we in English use the word do. Do you like Tom? Do you want some pizza? You want some pizza is a sentence. Do you want some pizza becomes a question. Same thing when we put est-ce que in front. Je veux une pizza. I want a pizza. Est-ce que tu veux une pizza? Do you want a pizza? Just like that. Okay, here's some examples. Il est français. Uh-oh, there's a mistake there. What's my mistake in il est française? No, there's no E if it's a guy. Il est français. Il est français. Est-ce qu'il est français? Right, he's French. Is he French? Est-ce qu'il est français? He is French. Is he French? Marie est anglaise. Marie is English. Is she? Est-ce que Marie est anglaise? Is Marie English? Same as in French and English, right? Est-ce que Marie est anglaise? Is Marie English? That's fantastic. We're just going to do a little practice with this, and then we'll go on with our negatives. So, for each of these, you have a subject and an adjective, in this case, a nationality. And you're going to ask if each person is that nationality. So when we have Marc and Canadien, we're going to answer, est-ce que Marc est Canadien? Right? We just put the Marc in front of it and put the right to be in the middle. Let's do number one together. We have Jim, Américain. Is Jim American? Est-ce que Jim est américain? So basically what we've done is we made a sentence with Jim est américain, and then we've made a question out of it. And we made a question out of it. Oops. Sorry, I had to pick something up that fell. Then we made a question out of it. So let's try number two together also. We have Luisa and Mexican. So we need to put an A in there because that goes with Louisa, right? And an est-ce que at the beginning. And what do we get? Louisa. Est-ce que Louisa est Mexicaine? Est-ce que Louisa est Mexicaine? I'd like you to do 3 through 7 on your own. I'd like you to pause the video and go ahead and do those 5, number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then we'll come back and go over the rest of them. Excellent. So now you've pressed play again, and here we go. Number 3, Paul et Philippe, blank, français. Est-ce que Paul et Philippe sont français? So you're using sont, it's plural. Est-ce que Paul et Philippe sont français? Numéro 4, est-ce que tu es Canadien? The right form of be with tu is a, right? Est-ce que tu es Canadien? Numéro 5, est-ce que vous êtes anglais? Are you English? Est-ce que vous êtes anglais? The vous goes with et, and then we make it a question by putting est-ce que in front of it. Numéro 6, est-ce que Anne est française? Est-ce que Anne est française? Right? Anne est française is how we say she's French, but we're asking, is she French? Est-ce que Anne est française? Et numéro 7, est-ce que Hélène et Carole sont américaines? Est-ce que Hélène et Carole sont américaines? The two of them are going to take sont for their form of be, right? Hélène et Carole sont. Est-ce que Hélène et Carole sont américaines? Fantastic. How do we answer no to one of these questions? Doesn't she look excited, my little avatar? First, we say no, right? If someone asks you, do you like pizza? No, I don't like pizza, right? You said the no at the beginning. Same thing in French, non. Non, je n'aime pas la pizza. No, I don't like pizza. So we're going to use, when we use the negative in the, then we use the negative form of the verb to finish the sentence. So I'd like you to take a second and copy this format in the little green box. Copy this format into your notes, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so now you've finished copying. Let's take a look at it. Subject, that's whoever the person or the thing is that the sentence is about. Instead of saying a verb after it, saying what they're doing, now we put the ne in front and we put a pas after. So say it after me. It's ne. Ne. And the word after is pas. Pas. Now notice that when it's a vowel sound after the ne, you have to do an apostrophe. For example, do you remember we said je n'aime pas? We put the ne and the m together. Je n'aime pas makes it negative. So the negative form of French verbs, you just copied this down, is subject plus ne plus verb plus pas. This is how I've always thought of it. I've thought of it like an Oreo cookie. You have the two cookies and you have the cream in the center. The cream in the center is the verb. The cookies are the ne and the pas on the outside. Now, what would happen if you reached into a box of a package of Oreo cookies and they weren't all attached in the right way? You'd have a really big goopy thing of cookie and cream, and it would just be yucky. It'd get all over your hand and it'd be impossible to eat. The same is true with the ne and the pas and the verb. The ne must go right in front of the verb and the pas has to go right after it. Those three stick together like an Oreo cookie. Now it's true, you can take the cookie off the cream and lick the cream off, but we're not talking about how you eat it. We're talking about the form that it comes in when you get it. You want to have your Oreo, when it comes in the bag, you want all the cookies to be attached to cream and another cookie. You don't want cream all over the place and cookies all crumbled and that sort of thing. So that's how I've always thought of it. Let's look at two examples. Eric et Anne ne sont pas là. Right? Eric et Anne sont là would mean that they're there, but we want to say they aren't there. Eric et Anne ne sont pas là. Michel n'est pas avec moi. Michel is not with me. Avec means with. Michel n'est pas avec moi. Who knows where she is, but she's not with me. Michel n'est pas avec moi. Eric et Anne ne sont pas là. Michel n'est pas avec moi. So all we have to do, I'm going to say it one more time, to make a verb negative in French is put the words ne and pas around the verb. And in fact, we've already done it like this. We know how to say I like, j'aime, and we know how to say I don't like, which I mentioned earlier, je n'aime pas. And in that case, there's a vowel, so we use an apostrophe. You're welcome to pause and copy this down if you think it would help you. Let's look at what happens. We have this sentence, elle est anglaise. Now I want to change it to she's not. Elle n'est, and then I have to add the pas. Elle n'est pas anglaise. Elle n'est pas anglaise. If Tom is Canadian, Tom est canadien. But what if he's not Canadian? We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the an apostrophe, and we're going to put the pas. Tom n'est pas canadien. Sorry, I pronounced that wrong. Tom n'est pas canadien. Tom n'est pas canadien. Last one, ma mère est française. My mother is French. Ma mère est française. But now I want to make it negative. Ma mère n'est pas française. Ma mère n'est pas française. Say the sentences after me. Elle n'est pas anglaise. Tom n'est pas canadien. Ma mère n'est pas française. Fantastic. Let's try answering a few questions negatively together. Notice that if a question is asked in tu, it is answered in je. Right? If I ask you, how are you? You're not going to say you are fine. You're going to say I am fine. It changes. So let's do a couple together. Est-ce que tu aimes le jus de raisin? Our answer would be non, je n'aime pas le jus de raisin. So let's do these out loud together. Let's do one more together. Est-ce que tu aimes danser? Est-ce que tu aimes danser? Non, je n'aime pas danser. So the ne and the pas goes around the M. Non, je n'aime pas danser. And we're going to be using M for our example here. Let's try these on your own. Est-ce que tu aimes nager? Non, je n'aime pas nager is the answer you should give, right? How about the next one? Est-ce qu'il aime travailler? Non, il n'aime pas travailler. You need to have that non at the beginning too. When someone asks you a yes or no answer, question, you usually answer with yes or no at the beginning. Est-ce qu'elle aime jouer au tennis? Est-ce qu'elle aime jouer au tennis? Non, elle n'aime pas jouer au tennis. Non, elle n'aime pas jouer au tennis. Est-ce qu'il aime jouer au basket? Est-ce qu'il aime jouer au basket? Non, je n'aime pas jouer au basket. There's a mistake. It should be il, right? Non, je n'aime pas jouer au basket. Est-ce que tu aimes jouer au foot? Est-ce qu'il tu... Now there are two subjects there. There should be two. Est-ce que tu aimes jouer au foot? No, I don't like playing soccer. Non, je n'aime pas jouer au foot. Je n'aime pas jouer au foot. I apologize for the mistake. It happens sometimes, you know. Est-ce qu'il aime jouer aux jeux vidéo? Est-ce qu'il aime jouer aux jeux vidéo? Non, il n'aime pas jouer aux jeux vidéo. Non, il n'aime pas jouer aux jeux vidéo. Est-ce qu'elle aime étudier? Est-ce qu'elle aime étudier? Non, elle n'aime pas étudier. Elle n'aime pas étudier. Est-ce que tu aimes regarder la télé? Est-ce que tu aimes regarder la télé? Non, je n'aime pas regarder la télé. Je n'aime pas regarder la télé. Est-ce qu'elle aime dîner au restaurant? Non, elle n'aime pas dîner au restaurant. Elle n'aime pas dîner au restaurant. Est-ce que tu aimes écouter la radio? Non, je n'aime pas écouter la radio. Je n'aime pas écouter la radio. Okay, that was awesome. Finally, we're going to add some little useful words that'll make our French sentences even better. So there's a lot of material today. We're going to write these words down as we go. The first word is à, and you've seen it before, à Paris. À means at or in, and actually it can mean to also, to, to also. It means lots of things, at, in, to. À Paris can mean to Paris or in Paris, or at Paris if you think of it that way. Remember, you can pause if I'm going too fast. De means from or of. Say it after me, de. De. Excellent. Je suis de Peoria. I'm from Peoria. Je suis de Peoria. Et means and we've seen that before. Say it after me. Et. Et. Je mange un steak et des frites. A steak and French fries. Ou is or. Say that one. Ou. 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 Est-ce que tu préfères un sandwich ou une pizza? Est-ce que tu préfères un sandwich ou un pizza? Right? Do you prefer a sandwich or pizza? Maybe asking you what you want for lunch. Avec. This is a wonderful word. It means with, and we use it all the time. Say it after me. Avec. 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 And pour, which means for. Say it after me. Pour. Pour. I can now say I have a pizza for Susie. J'ai une pizza pour Susie. We've used j'ai before. We haven't really studied it, but we've used it. J'ai une pizza pour Susie. I have a pizza for Susie. Fantastique. Mais means but. Now be careful if you speak Spanish. It's not corn. It's not maíz. That's also corn in French. It's mais. Everyone say it. Mais. Mais. And it's but with one T, not two, just to be clear. Okay, let's practice our new vocabulary. And again, let's do it out loud. What is à? At, excellent. And in. De? from, of. Et and, ou, or, avec, with. For, mais, excellent. De, from, of. Et and, pour, mais, but, avec, with, ou, or, à, at, in, or to, et, and, mais, but. Super! Time to move on to our independent work. You guys did a great, awesome job today. And I will say au revoir, à plus tard, which means I'll see you later, and I will turn off this recorder. Au revoir!